morning looking at all our props that we've been using, a few this week. We haven't used our normal ones, so I've got my 2 blocks and I've got my strap and I've got 2 balls, but you won't need them, it's not for juggling. I have got 2 of these little balls. They're the sort of ones that you throw for dogs. I think I bought 3 for £1 or something in somewhere. They're not necessary really this morning if you don't have them, but you do have your can of beans, just to show that other things work. We won't probably use a bolster or anything this morning. Keep those balls in mind. Okay, so we're going to start. We'll need your bricks near you to start with. They're the things we're going to use first. So we're starting standing and we're doing a little warm up using our prop. And then we'll need both the props, and we're more thinking of alignment at the second section here. And then we'll go on to other bits and pieces with the other things. So as we do the first part and the alignment part particularly, I'll remind you, but you can do it low down on the floor and do it on your knees. So instead of doing high lunge, you do forward lunge, etc. I will remind you of that. But this isn't about being terribly dynamic, this class. It's more about thinking about what we're using to help us and let them help us by supporting us rather than forcing through them. Okay, so just to start, just do a little shake out. Just start to warm the body up. You might want to take your legs a little bit further apart and let your feet swing round and your knees come into it and your thighs. Just notice what's creaking as you do this. So just starting to bring the energy into every part of the body, shaking the hands through. The body is one of our props. We use its gravity or gravity on it to work with what we're doing in yoga. Okay, come to a standstill. And then, I might have spoken before about it, tapping. So you put your hands into a fist and you just tap them, not too hard, but with a little bit of sensation up and down your body. Now, normally you would be trying to follow meridian lines, which are the channels or the nadis all over us. You can pat all over your chest, all over your tummy, up and down your legs. But really what it is just switching on. If you think of the acupuncture points where people have acupuncture, you're hitting in those, or you're tapping rather, in those areas. So you're just starting to move the ki, as they call it. We call it prana, the energy around you, just by tapping. And it may not feel like you've done very much, but when you stop just now, or keep tapping if you want to, and just go into Tadasana for a second, hopefully you can feel the different sensation of the heat that's come into your body just by doing those couple of little movements there. And that's because you're moving that prana, that energy flow is now happening round about you. Okay, so grabbing one of your bricks first of all, and popping your hands either side of them lengthwise and just taking the arms away from you if it's comfortable. If not, you can do this first little one with your elbows bent and your arms just hanging. But all we're going to do is twist that brick in our hand. So you can do it out here, or you can move it out and in if you want to, because if you're moving it out and in, you're starting to open up your arms as well as your wrists. But here we're really just using the brick to focus on opening and warming up our wrists here. So you can feel you flexing and opening your wrists by this movement. As I say, if you then bend the elbows and straighten them, you're starting to warm up through the arms and through the shoulders. And close your eyes if you can, and just see if you can feel the energy moving through there. So not really using the brick as a support, but it's just as an extra tool to find a different movement in our body. Come to a standstill. Now take the hands away from you at shoulder height, holding the brick in the same way. And what we're going to do here, make sure you feel stable on your feet, find your triangle, because we're going to roll up on the feet. So maybe start the roll up first, rolling up and down through your feet. Take it nice and slowly. As you roll down and come onto your heels, see if you can roll up off the ball of your feet and off your toes. So as you roll backwards onto the floor, lift your feet at the front. And then, whoops, start to move with the brick in your hand. We're going to take it up above your head as you raise up. And then down as you slowly come back down onto your feet. Take your feet backwards, come onto your heels if you can without staggering too much. Then come back up. So here we're starting to open the feet. We're using the brick as a tool to help open a little bit more through our arms, our side bodies. Our core is starting to come into it. You can take the brick right down to your belly if you want to as you come down, so make it a little bit more of a movement through your shoulders there. You can probably start to feel the warmth again through your body. Maybe your feet are starting to creak a little bit as you go up and down, but then they'll start to get a bit more fluid as they get oiled. So we're also practicing here and using our brick to focus on as we balance. Hold at the top the next one if you can. And really focus on your hands on the brick and push gently through the heels of your hands and lift the brick up a little bit higher. Hold that tummy in, squeeze the tummy in a little bit more, tuck the bottom, balancing up on the ball of the feet. And we do use the toes here unusually. Whoops, if you wobble, don't worry, that's learning. And then slowly coming back down to the floor. So don't ever worry about wobbling, because it's just, your muscle will then remember what you're doing. Okay, so brick in front of you again at shoulder height. All we're doing here is starting to take it round behind us, change hands, bring it back in front of us. Same way, back to the front, and then go in the other direction. So here, using the prop to help us, one more in that direction, then change again. Take one in each direction this time. I'm not going to do the change thing that I often have done in this. But this, as we know, is proprioception, because you're catching that brick behind you. You know your brain is wakening up, in other words. This is brain training, mind training, switching on, focusing, form of meditation almost, you could push it to. So using that brick to really focus what we're doing here. We'll take another one. Bring it round to the front. Just notice your shoulders as well. The mind was getting so involved there that we forgot what was happening in the body. But when you stop, you suddenly realise. Grab your two bricks now. We're going to take a roll down, roll up, and then roll down. Excuse me. Keeping hold of the bricks, and then use them at the bottom to help us with our forward fold. So I'm going to turn sideways. So just rolling down, maybe using your bricks on your legs just to slowly soften the knees, really soften the knees. We haven't warmed up properly yet, so soften the knees, take the bricks down to the floor, and then roll back up again with the bricks still in your hand. Close your eyes if you can. Come to the top, roll the shoulders open, take the bricks out, take them back a little bit, maybe a little bit of a squeeze there between the shoulder blades, and then roll back down, tuck the tummy, tuck the chin, bend the knees, soften, come down to wherever you're comfortable. If you're really quite high, take the bricks to the floor on tall and come into your forward fold. If you can go down to the second side, try that one, but your legs, remember, are not warm, so don't force them open. If you can, take them down. And everybody use the brick, even if you can't really get to the floor. So if you're on the brick and you're really forward folded, soften your elbows. Forward fold is about pouring out of your pelvis. It's not about straightening the legs. So if your knees are really bent, doesn't matter at this point. Just think about tipping your hips and rolling the spine out of its curly shape. And then, excuse me, this knee, move the energy in the knees. Excuse me, must be dust down here. Then we're going to just roll up just with our hands this time. So leave the bricks where they are. Slowly trace the arms up, along your legs, hands along the legs rather. Come to the top, roll out and open. Excuse me. And then we're going to come down. Now, this is an inversion. If anybody doesn't want to take this, then come down onto all fours and use your bricks on all fours to do cat-cow. That would be a way of trying this one out. But otherwise, we're going to roll back down, find our bricks, bring them in front of you at whatever height you feel you need. Can be tall, can be the next one down, can be the it's harder to do this one if they're flat. So take them either on the second high side or the tall side here, so that you can clasp the top of the brick. Widen your feet then to as wide as is comfortable. The wider they are, the easier this is, I'll tell you. So take them to wherever they're comfortable, feet facing forwards. All we're going to do is use the bricks to walk forward so that we extend, but try and keep your bottom back so that it's still above the point where your legs come together, sort of style. And you've got a long front body and long back body here, long through the crown, tuck the chin, tuck the belly, take that, your bottom back a little bit and feel the stretch then, a little bit through the back of the hamstrings, round the back of the hips. And then walk the bricks back in one at a time. And then come into your curly cat back here. So taking the bricks to wherever is comfortable, between your legs or further back if you can. Rolling right down, soften the knees. If it's too big a pull in your legs, keep the knees soft. Walking them back forward again, take one more stretch out to the front. Feel that length in the body, feel the hips moving backwards. The arms are moving forwards, they're not necessarily wrists under shoulders here. There's a bit of a compromise, but you have got 4 limbs on the floor. If you're in cat-cow, just enjoy using the bricks just to find a little bit more height in this. Take the bricks back between your legs, anyone else that's with me. And then we're going to roll back up to standing. So take the feet back together before you move. Use your bricks as your support there. And we need 1 brick as we come up. So pop the other brick to the side. Use 1 brick here. Just trail back up, roll back up. If you're in cat, if you're in all fours, come to forward fold and then come back up to the top and a roll up with us. Okay, so my nose is now running. Oh, there must be dust somewhere. Okay, so we're going to take the section that I spoke about a minute ago. We're going to do low lunge. We're going to do pyramid and triangle, which are all quite big poses standing. If you don't feel ready for that this morning, you can take low lunge, and then you can do half splits by taking the leg back, which is a kind of version of pyramid. We're using the bricks here. And then instead of triangle, you can just do it on the floor by taking that position, which is kind of bringing your knee under your hip and then upwards, okay? So if you want to take the floor, then please take yourself down there now. And then you can otherwise follow the arm movements. So everyone else step back with the right foot, come into high lunge. So you're on the ball of the back foot and you're on train tracks. You've got a soft front knee, which is over your ankle. So try and move forward. Here's my dear back. It comes every time in the morning. I've got 2 of them this morning. They were here yesterday. Okay, just look at me. That's mad. Okay, so we're going to stand here in high lunge. Took my mind off it there. Okay, brick in your hands again in front of your chest this time. All we're going to do is take the brick out and in a couple of times. So stretching out, but just moving at the shoulders towards the brick. Nothing else is moving, just the shoulders and the arms. Keeping that tummy tuck. Keeping that back heel moving backwards to open up the back leg. Keeping that softness and bounciness through the feet as well. So there's a stability there, but there's a softness. Just a little bit of a shoulder warm up. And then take the brick down to the down so your arms are full length, and then we're just going to sweep it up above and extend this time. So not a back bend. At the top, hold it and just push gently again through the heels of the hands and lift that brick just a little bit higher, extending through your side body. And then sweep it round a big semicircle, bring it back down and round to your tummy or down to your thigh. Take 1 more of those. So lifting up in the inhale this time, really moving through the feet as well, lifting with the front foot, lifting with the ball of the back foot, lifting through the heels of the hands. Feel that engagement, that opening happening. Focus on the brick as it comes back down. This time, take your back bend. Inhale up. So we take it above our head, and then we push gently through the heel of the hand, and move up through into that curvy shape in our back, that heart forward shape. And then bring the brick back down. So take one more back bend here. So lifting up. Feet are staying, pressing gently into the feet, but the legs are staying in the same position. We're opening the heart up towards that top corner. The brick is moving up and backwards, and then bring it back down. So it's just been used as a focal point here, your brick. And then we're going to take the back foot and step it in a little bit and bring it onto the floor. Straighten that front leg. So if you're on your knees, you need to sit back a bit and straighten the front leg. And then we're going to take the brick in front of us, chest height, everybody. And we're folding at that front hip flexor. So we're pushing the brick away from us as we fold forward from the hip flexor. Move the body forward towards the brick. You can look at it. If it hurts your neck, you can look at the floor now. Take your head down. Hold here and breathe. It's quite a powerful one on your front leg. So soften the knee if it's too strong. If it's too strong in your hamstrings, soften the knee. But think about keeping that long front body and the body moving towards the brick. The arms moving away from the body. And then gently moving back up, softening that front knee. Coming back up, that was quite a strong one this morning. We turn the other way here. So we're still in that pyramid leg shape, which is just about right for what we're doing next. You're going to take the brick on your left hand, in my case, the front foot hand. We're going to take the brick in our hand at shoulder height. We're going to move it forward, take it forward, and then gently come down in a semicircle until the brick lands just inside your front foot. Again, you can soften your knee if you need to here, and we're all on the tall edge of the brick. So we're coming into triangle, so your body will be falling forward at the moment. Now take your Robin Hood arms. So take your elbow back on the other arm and open up and roll that chest up. Roll the tummy back, roll that hip back and open up into your triangle. You can do this on the floor as I showed you earlier, if this is too strong, obviously, remember. So the whole thing of this is to move that front body and rotate it all round. So press into your brick gently and see if you can get that. If you're not quite right, move it around. It needs to be under your shoulder. Use that then to lift you and give you the space to open your top body. Other arm can be up, or it can be folded behind your back, or it can just be sitting on your waist. But think about using that bottom hand as your rebound to lift up and open. Tuck the tummy in the bottom, move it forward a little bit. And then the head can look down, or it can look forward, or it can look up, whatever's better for your neck. And then soften that front knee and gently push on the front foot. Use your side body in the upper half to bring you back up to standing. Turn your feet forward, and we'll take that. No, we're going to do one more. No, we'll take it to the other side first. Okay, so step back, either into your other side of low lunge or back into the other side of high lunge. I'm going to be facing the wrong way again, aren't I? Okay. Oh, they're still there. Oh, there's a baby. Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Okay, so in high lunge, we're moving the arms out and in at chest height just a couple of times. So engage with that spot on the back of your body. And here, think about your pelvis. You want to have that bowl, it will tip slightly forward because of your back leg, but try and tuck your bottom and tuck your tummy. And then we're taking the arms out and in, and then we're taking that up. An extension. So at the top, extend through the heels of your hands. Keep that softness in the front knee. And then bring the hands back down. One more extension, and then we'll take a couple of back bends. So extend at the top, using the brick to press into and lift. And then open out. And then one more. into extension and back bend this time. Take it back down. Another one, lift up. I think my flower pots are feeding troughs, these deer, I think. And then bring hands back down. That's what you get for living in the country. Step the back foot in, come into pyramid. Brick at heart center. Draw the tummy and the bottom forward a little bit. And then moving that brick out at heart height. Extending. Folding gently over that front hip hinge. Softening the knee if it's too strong on your glutes at this point. But keep that body moving forward, the heart moving forward towards the brick. Keep using the brick to lift you, to pull you forward until you can come down. And we're staying up, remember, we're not folding here. So they should feel, your back foot should still feel attached to the floor. And then soften the front knee, bring yourself back up to standing. Brick into the right hand. We're moving forward, extending the arm with the brick, bringing it down. So when you extend, you go a little bit further. You're kind of pushing the brick forward so that you feel you're moving your back hip forward. And there's an extension on the side body here, and then semicircle it down to the floor, to inside your front foot. The same movement in, not the same movement. In low lunge, you'd be doing Robin Hood before this. So now we're doing Robin Hood and we're opening the top body. An arm up above, arm folded down behind you or on your waist. Think then of rolling the hips back. You'll feel an opening in your inner thigh when you do that. So press into your foot and roll the hip back, your front foot rather. And then use the brick to gently rebound off and see if you can open just a little bit more across the upper body particularly. If you tuck your tummy and bottom here, you'll feel you can open a bit more through your middle of your core as well. Head can be wherever it feels comfortable, remember. So you've got that triangle shape under your body, a little bit higher than normal, possibly. Remember that front knee can be softened if it's too strong for you. It's the body we're thinking about using here rather than the leg. So that's why the brick is handy, because if you can't push off that leg because your knee's bent, then you can use the brick still to get that rotation and opening in the upper body. Okay, soften the knee, coming back up to standing. And the feet. Grab a hold of your two bricks now. A couple of last standing poses before we go down into the floor. So take the two bricks. I'm going to do a roll down with the two bricks, or just a forward fold, whichever you'd rather. So soften the knees still, forward folding, tipping out of that pelvis, bringing the bricks to the floor. A bit too further forward. And then walk the bricks one at a time out in front of you until you feel you can get your full body length between your hips and your shoulders. So your shoulders should be over the bricks and your feet should be under your hips. And in between should be a long front and back body, lifting the tummy and moving the heart slightly. Press gently into the bricks to find that rebound and lift. And then we're coming into Warrior 3. So tuck the chin for the weight of the head at that end. And then move into your left foot. In my case, I'm going forward, but whichever foot you want to. Take the other leg, trail the big toe along the floor, first of all, to wherever you feel you can extend it to and still keep the balance in the three limbs. And then flex that foot. And then the hinge on the back of your hip this time, the crease under your bottom where it meets your thigh. Lift from there, so lift up, not from the heel, but from your core you're lifting here. You're using your glute muscle to lift that leg up and come into Warrior 3. Hold, flex the foot, move the foot away from you. Find your bricks, press gently into both bricks and lift yourself just a little bit higher. And see if you can move your crown a little bit further forward, your heart a little bit further forward. lift that tummy just a little bit more. Watch the rotation of the hips. So because you're quite stable, you should be able to feel if you've rolled, which we're going to do in a minute as a choice, but otherwise, hips should be facing the floor here. And then bring that foot back down. Now, choice here is to either stop and do your own thing, do Tadasana, whatever, stay in Warrior 3 in that leg still, or to try with me to come into half moon. We didn't get it on the chair the other day, so we're going to try it now. So you don't need the right hand brick. The standing leg is the left hand, so you don't need the opposite brick. You take the other brick and you move it slightly forward, about an inch forward and about an inch outwards, because we're going to roll, and when you roll, your shoulder will then end up over that brick. So we start by taking the foot up into Warrior 3, using the other brick if you need a bit of stability, and then we're just going to roll open like we did in triangle. So we're rolling the body open, and we're lifting and coming up into our half moon. If you don't get there, don't worry. It's all about rotation here, keeping that strong core and rotating the body. It's about using the brick to just gently push off, as well as your foot. Top arm can be up, can be in your side, can be in your waist, wherever you feel stable. Flex that back foot, move the foot backwards. And then we're coming down, we're taking that back leg down, rotating gently forwards, bringing both feet to the floor, bending the knees, coming back up. So if you tried that one, if you don't want to try that one, you can try it on the floor. So you can come into gate and still try and take the leg up. So you can try it on your knee if you feel a bit more stable. Try it on this side if you didn't try it there. Try both sides now if you don't want to do it with me. So we're coming into Warrior 3 first of all. So walk the feet back or forward. Make sure you've got that length between your shoulders and your hips. Hips over feet, shoulders over the bricks. Other foot we're standing in. Take the foot along the floor. Flex the foot, lift at the hip crease, find your Warrior 3. Rotate your hips to make sure they're parallel. Lift the body on the front body by tucking the tummy, lifting the chest. And breathe. And then bring the foot back down to the floor. Choice here, try half moon if you want to. So I quite like the other brick, just if it's there, I feel I've got the stability. I don't use it, but it's nice to know it's there. So move the brick that you're on your standing leg side, slightly forward, slightly to the side, to the back, outwards rather. And then moving into that brick, moving into that leg. Make sure you feel stable before you start to open. Make sure your shoulder feels connected to the brick. So move it around if you need to, and then slowly rolling open. Oops, can't see. Open the front body. And press gently into the foot, press gently into the brick. Lift. Press into the back foot. Open the shoulder, open the chest. A little bit more. Breathe. And then slowly rolling down. And you'll be glad to know we're now coming down to the floor. So gently, using the bricks, bring yourself to your knees and come down to the floor. So that was alignment aid as well as bringing focus to certain points of your body by using props. We use it in the warm-ups. So here, just come down to the floor. Take a moment in child's pose with the brick, everybody, under your head. At your third eye, keep your elbows on your forearms on the floor here. Let the hips sink back, open up the back of the body, and just let go as much as you can into that brick. It should be somewhere round about your third eye that you're feeling the pressure here, which is another acupuncture pressure point. If you just rock maybe a little bit from side to side to feel exactly where the nice part is, to just go ha. There's a point there that if you rub a cat on its head, it will literally roll over for you. It will just flop. It can't control itself. Rabbits are the same, and a dog actually. So they all have the same point. If you can find it here, it will help you to let go. You're using that little bit of pressure on the brick. And finding your breath. And then if you can reach it, find your other brick as well. We're staying down in child's pose. We're going to take the two bricks lengthwise towards you. So they're on the floor, the flat on the second side. No, on the lowest side rather. But you've got your wrist and your arm onto the length of the brick, and you've got your fingers tucked over the end. And you're still in child's pose. You can go into wide leg here if you prefer it now. So bringing the big toes together and opening the knees. And then just slowly allow the bricks to slide forward as your head comes down to the floor. If it's too strong for you, then keep the bricks in and bring your head down and just look back. And you'll get an upper body stretch that way. If you can take it a little bit more and extend the arms and bring the head to the floor, then this will stretch your shoulders out at the back. You'll feel rather underneath, and your armpit will stretch open. There'll be a bit of compression in the back of the shoulders, but we don't often take our shoulders back this far. We think we put our hands above our head, and we don't often go as far as this. So you may feel quite a pressure on the back of your shoulders here. If it's not for you, please come out of it, but otherwise this is really good for the shoulders. To waken up that bit in the back of your body that we don't often contract as much as that there. And then coming down onto your belly, keeping hold of the brick, well, coming off the brick, but keeping them there. We're just going to take Sphinx for a minute, but using one brick here. And again, finding that third eye pressure point. So Sphinx, we have legs either a little bit closer or wider, whichever for your lower back, wider is better. Using your hip bones and your pubic bone to press into switching your glutes on, lifting your tummy and moving the heart forward. Using the forearms here and the elbows to just lift you a little bit higher. But bringing that brick in to take the weight of that heavy old head that normally just sort of sits there shouting maybe at you because your neck's not in the right position. A lot of people take their neck back here, which isn't right, and it's not good for your neck to crease the back of your neck, not like we've just done with your shoulders. But this just releases, so allow your cervical spine here just to let go of the weight of your head into the brick. Try not to let go of the rest of the pose, but just let go of the weight of that heavy old head. 7 kilos you're putting through the brick there. So it's nice to literally take the weight off your shoulders. And find your breath. Just take 2 or 3 breaths here. I'm whistling through these a bit because it's just to show you bits and pieces of how our props are useful to us. So a couple more with the brick before we move on to the strap, etc. Just roll round onto your back, come up carefully and roll round. Watch the weight of your head when you do come off that position, because letting go of it, you have to contract slowly again to lift it. Then come onto your back and prepare yourself for bridge here. But pop your brick between your thighs, right up as close to your perineal area as you can. Perineum area, perineum. Bring your brick in lengthwise and your inner thighs squeeze against it. And then make sure that your knees and your feet feel connected again, so your feet aren't splayed out at all here. And we're just going to take bridge here, 3 bridge rolls with or without your arms. But squeezing that brick between your thighs. First of all, find your pelvic tilt. So tuck your tummy and tuck your bottom. As you inhale, begin to move from the feet and squeezing the brick between your thighs as you lift. Taking the arms if you want to or not, if you don't. Opening up the upper body, exhaling back down. Keep focusing on the brick rather than anywhere else in your bridge this time. So really squeezing the inner thighs here. Switching on the core by doing that. It's not just your legs that you're working with here, it switches on the lower abdominal muscles, the ones that are quite difficult to reach when you exercise. So often these are the muscles that we should be using to lift our legs, but actually we use our hip flexors more, which isn't really the best way to go. So squeezing the brick one more time, one more bridge lift. And then rolling back down. Take the brick from between your legs and lift up carefully here and just pop it under the hard part of your pelvis there, so below your waist, so that you can let your body rest back down onto it low down. We're doing it on the lowest setting here because we're not doing supported bridge. We're taking one knee at a time in towards our chest and coming into Apanasana, but raise that on the brick. So a little bit more different sensation here, and it just helps the weight of the legs then to fall a bit easier towards your chest, to your thighs to come towards your belly. Hands can be just on the floor here if you want, and you can just let your legs dangle up here. Open the front of the feet, just let them go around the ankles. So this can be quite a restorative way of taking Apanasana rather than hanging onto the legs with your hands and your shoulders getting involved. Here you can just relax your shoulders and just feel that curvy shape's being put into you, using the brick as your support here and your extension. So this is quite a nice one to take. A lot of these sort of more yin ones we can take just on their own. And this is quite nice. And it's another kind of version of legs up the wall. You could put your legs up the wall here or take them above your head if you wanted to, is another option. So very carefully take one leg at a time down to the floor, not both at once, please, because that'll hurt your sacral area. So then lift the bottom, take the brick out, roll over onto your side, and gently and slowly come back up to sitting. And then grab your grab the balls. Let's go balls first of all, and they're tin of beans. So this is just a very quick thing about these. I have two balls because you can use them as acupressure points. But you need to be even with that, and we're not going to do that today. That's a whole lesson in itself. But they're very good for finding those spots in your body. So if you can get two of them the next time you're at Tesco's or something, then grab a couple because we may use them in another session. Otherwise, the ball is great on its own, the singular one. For using for a form of reflexology, I went to reflexologist the other day. I love it, and it's really important to keep your feet healthy, to keep your organs healthy through your feet. If you don't really connect to that idea, but it is an ancient Chinese medicine, just keeping that openness in your feet will make you feel better. So using the ball as a form of massage there, finding the lumpy, crunchy bits and just rolling it around both feet, obviously, not just one. I was told at reflexology the other day that your right foot represents your past and the left foot represents your present. So you might feel one foot is very tied up and tense and crunchy and sore. It's interesting then if you remember that fact, that it's the past and the present. Using the ball again, you can use it for myofascia relaxation. And this is why I brought the tin of beans in, just to show that we don't need to have all these fancy gadgets and yoga things. You can just roll a tin of beans down your legs. Take your tin now, maybe, rather than the ball. It's a bit uncomfortable in the shin, but it's not a bad thing to just stimulate that area and get some blood to that. But don't force it over any part of you. But then on your thighs particularly, everybody buys these fancy roller things nowadays. The tin of beans is just as good. But don't just go up and down the front, go up and down the sides. You can use it on your arms as well. It's a little bit cumbersome, but you get the knack. Probably taking the shiny thing off is helpful. The point of this is just to show you, that you can use things like dressing gown belts and books and tins of beans. You do not need to buy yoga stuff. I know you've all got it now, but this is to pass on to other people, really, I'm telling you this. Myofascia, myo is muscle, fascia is your connection. So it's a connective tissue that you're working with when we've just done what we've done. And as I say, that's another class in itself, but that's really important because from your toe to your crown is connected with this fascia. It's just one running long piece that interacts with joints and muscles and everything else. It's a different system and substance, but it's part of the whole of you, and keeping that connecting tissue healthy by massaging it is really important. Okay, strap, last thing, strap. So strap work, we've done quite a bit of strap work. We've done even some of this pop-up. We've done the Dandasana and head to toe forward folds. And we've done cow face, which you can do at any point, you know that. You can also use it as a bit of shoulder stretching, which we've done in other classes. I'm not going to do all this now because we're running out of time a bit and I want to finish with something different. One way we can use it as well that I've not done very often, I don't think, is take it round the back of you, cross it over at the front on your diaphragmatic area. So you want it at the low ribs. And then cross it quite tightly, holding it in the opposite hand. So have it wrapped round, cross it over and hold it in your hand quite tightly, and then just breathe. So close your eyes, and as you breathe, feel the strap give a little bit and move. Feel your diaphragm moving in your breath, in other words. So this is just connecting to your diaphragmatic breathing, but it's quite interesting to see how much your ribs and your diaphragm move, and maybe then you'll connect and move it a little bit more, or maybe you've not connected to that area when we've been trying to move it in breath practice. So that is quite an easy way, and again, you can tell other people how to use this. You can give them a dressing gown strap, an older person, see how they're breathing, let them play with it, make it fun, and then see how they're breathing. And once they connect it, it might help them with respiratory issues. It might help them just breathe a little bit better. And in this day and age, that's not a bad thing. So switching on to your diaphragmatic yogic breathing, in other words, using just this simple way of using a strap round you. Okay, so last little bit here. We need to make a hook of your strap. So make it as big a hook as you can. So just feed it through. Make sure it's not going to slip. So use your metal bits at the top just to make sure it doesn't slip. And once it's as big as you can get it, pop it round the back of you first of all, under your arms and round the upper part of your spine. So your thoracic area, your just back of your chest kind of style. Bring your knees in one at a time. And then see if you can stretch forward and pop it round your feet. So then pop your hands to the floor as a bit of extra support. You can use your bricks here if you needed them. And then just see how far you can move your feet out. And as you do so, it's going to pull you forward. So tuck your tummy and allow yourself to fall forward with it and into Parasympathetic westward facing forward fold here. So tucking the tummy and moving the heart forward towards your shins rather than curving down. But if you wanted to, you could take this just by rolling down. It's a big lower back opener. If you haven't got your legs straight, then that's fine. You can have them bent and still use this. But what you can then do is just relax and allow yourself to be in this position without having to force your body into it. The strap will hold you, you won't fall. But it'll also maybe let you get a little bit deeper into it. And as you get deeper into the edge, you can move your legs away from you maybe a bit more and come further forward into that forward fold. So that's just a bit of support in that one. Again, keeping your feet there. You can take your legs out to Virabhadrasana, to turn your feet in towards each other, legs falling out, and pop the strap round your legs. And then you would have to tighten it a little bit here. So you're tightening and doing essentially the same thing. You're allowing the strap to bring you forward, to fold over your feet, and come into Virabhadrasana, forward fold into Virabhadrasana legs here. So allowing the strap again just to help you stay there and support you. Again, big back opener, that one. You can do all these things without the strap, but the strap is there to help and support you. You mustn't feel that because you are a very strong practitioner and able to forward fold, very flexible, very strong, very mobile, that you can't use the strap to support you, or the bricks or anything else. Props are there for a reason, not just for alignment, and it's not a failure to use a prop. It's somebody that's been really clever, actually. So last one, you can either come down to Shavasana for a few breaths. If you're in Shavasana, you can use a rolled up blanket, which we probably haven't got nearby, or you can put your brick under your knees if it's not uncomfortable, just to raise your knees a little bit for a change. You can put a cushion under your knees, a cushion under your head. They're also props, remember. Or you can come with me and do the showy one, which is pop the strap. First of all, make sure the metal bit's not anywhere near the top of you. Put the strap round your feet. Lie down on the floor. Lift your legs up with using the strap, and then carefully lift your head up and place the strap round your head, just above your ears. So using the harder part of your skull here to support you. And your legs can then go either stay bent and bring your head up a little bit higher to wherever you're comfortable. Wherever you feel you need to be, you can rock a little bit if you need to. You can take your legs straight out and come into a kind of boat pose here, but a curvy boat pose lifted. And then you can just let your shoulders fall out by rotating your shoulders and let your palms face upwards. So that's just an alternative, just for this last little bit, to Shavasana. If you don't want it now, go into Shavasana. Take whichever you'd like. I love this pose. I think it's really good, that one, but some other people, it might not be right for them. So please take your choice there. Find yourself a bit of comfort just for a few seconds as we finish. Clasp and pop up. So please just remember that taking support is not a weakness, it's a strength. I'm thinking of autumn again. We'll just finish with a few words from She Let Go by Sapphire Rose. Apologies that it's a female thing here. I won't read the whole poem, it's too long, but I'll just read a few bits as you lie here in Shavasana or boat, and just give you something to finish with. She let go without a thought or a word. She let go. She let go of the fear. She let go of the judgments. She let go of the confluence of opinions swarming around in her head. She let go of the committee of indecision within her. And she let go of all the right reasons. Wholly and completely, without hesitation or worry, she just let go. Like a leaf falling from a tree, she just let go. There was no effort, there was no struggle. And in the space of letting go, she let it all be, and a smile came over her face. If you have the strap around your head and feet, please carefully take it off and just come down onto your back on the floor in Shavasana just for a couple of seconds. And as we finish here, autumn has almost let go too. Bringing a sense of drawing inwards, having gathered and stored our energy. And there'll be a time ahead when we can regenerate in the quiet, darker nights and the shorter days. So take your time here to move if you're coming up to finish class. If you need to, if you want to stay, then please do. Otherwise, come up to finish. In Sukhasana. Been a good pop-up. We've done really well. We've given 14.7 people we have given Christmas to in this pop-up with our charity donation to Crisis at Christmas. So well done, everybody. And just think on Christmas Day of the smile on the face of the 14 people that you've given Christmas to. The new season also brings all the lights and sparkles with it. So before this, let's all regroup, have a few times in the yoga mat and prepare ourselves energetically for those weeks ahead. See you in a couple of weeks. Thank you for being here once more. Thank you for being with me once more. And may the light in me always greet the light in you. Namaste.